I'm going to fix the pool robot.
Is that what we're doing today?
Yes.
Cool. So you may or may not have seen my previous video, the review of the M600, the Dolphin M600. And in there I had complained that it had issues with the app and its connectivity. I said I wasn't that bothered because the robot works very well.
Cardboard.
It's sandpaper in its cleaning capacity, but its connectivity, its Wi-Fi and its cloud-based stuff and the app on the phone were pretty terrible. One of the things I discovered was in the power supply, within this illuminated button, there was actually some moisture. You could see some water on the inside. So I wondered if maybe it had leaked in the rain and that had caused a problem. So I spoke to Maytronics, and to their credit, I mentioned previously that they had an issue with the motor unit and returning it. They wanted me to send it back to the UK where I got it from. The person I spoke to this time was very amenable, and she said, right, don't worry, let me talk to Israel. And Israel spoke to somewhere in Greece, and they said, tell you what, if you can get it back to Greece rather than the Greek mainland rather than the UK, we'll swap it there. So they did. This is a brand new power supply. And within the robot, we have a brand new motor unit as well. And familiar with it or not, but the motor unit contains all of the electronics. So I've replaced anything electronic, the power supply and the motor unit, and yet still had connectivity issues. And I couldn't work out why. And the Maytronics, although their customer service is very helpful, their kind of response to everything is, oh, send it back, send it back, send it back. I don't want to do that again. So I've got a new motor unit and a new power supply, which are the only electronic things. So what could be causing it not to communicate? Well, the only thing left, of course, is the wire. And the wire has a swivel joint. So I took it apart, because why not? And this is interesting. 3 pins. And look at that pin. Goes onto this swivel, and look at the state of that. So we have 3 wires, a positive and a negative and a communication. What do you reckon, Alex?
Good.
Good. two of them are good. What about this one here? What does that one look like?
Bad.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
I think that might be the communication pin. And that would explain why the robot operates, because we've still got good power, but it won't communicate. So what are we going to do?
Fix the pool.
We're going to fix the pool robot. We're going to use some cleaning, some switch cleaner, sandpaper. These we use just to open up the swivel joint, and a little brushy thing. And a 4-year-old, because you need a 4-year-old to do it, don't we, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a 4-year-old.
You are. Are you the main cleaning man?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's clean it and see what happens. Drama's occurred. One of the kids fell off the swing and he's cut his lip, so they've gone back in. So the helper's gone. He was okay. It was the other one. He fell off and hurt himself. Oh dear. Anyway, well, some progress, but I think ultimately I'm going to need a new cable, which I'm going to try and claim for under warranty as well, because it's all less than 3 years old. So they've been very good. They've been very good. Anyway, a little thing. If I pull this piece out here, you can see, possibly, there's water in the cable here. That was wet. In fact, it spilled out all over here. There was you probably can't see that. So it's obviously been leaking. I mean, it's obviously been leaking because it was corroded anyway, but it's obviously been leaking, which it shouldn't. I've cleaned it up kind of as best I can, because the more I rub it with the sandpaper, it seems to be bronze or brass plated, so I'm rubbing the plating off, so I don't want to go too far. And the pin is, it's cleaner. It was this one just here that was green and disgusting. Again, there's only so much I can do, so we'll put it back together and we'll try it and see if we get the communication back and see if we get the app working again. If we do, I took some photos of the green bits and I'll send them off to Maytronics and say, can I have a new wire as well, please? And see what happens. Hurrah! Success! It's currently working perfectly. There is probably a way that I can show you the app whilst using my phone, but I'm a bit of a troglodyte when it comes to technology. So I've taken a photo. There it is. It's online, cleaning now. This is just a photograph, just a screenshot. And here is another screenshot for us to show, I don't know, that's today's date and all the rest of it. that it's working. You can see it was last seen in November, and then we've got this error in January, and obviously I've used it since then frequently, but that was the last time it saw it. So the reason for doing this video, I alluded to it earlier, the Maytronics customer service is very good. They have honoured the motor unit and the power supply under warranty with absolutely no questions asked. It was just, yep, send it, we'll replace it. There was no, oh, we'll test it and we'll try and fix it. They just said, send it, we'll replace it, no problems. So that's really good. The problem I have is if you're a technically inclined kind of person or you want to have a fiddle, there is no support in terms of doing it yourself. It's just send it back. So obviously the problem quite possibly, because it used to work perfectly when we first got it and then it sort of degraded and it had started having its connectivity issues. It could well be that all of the problems, the motor unit leaked, so that had to be replaced. I guess the power supply did too because there was water in it, but there was probably no fault with any of these things, and all the connectivity is quite possibly just down to the corroded pin in that plug. So it works at the moment. It probably won't for a long time, so I will talk to Maytronics and ask them to send me a new lead. If they say no, then I'll just buy one. They're not hugely expensive. But so the purpose of this video, if you are trying to get information, if you have a Maytronics device, the M600 I know because I have it, and I think the 5 and the 400, anything that communicates with the power supply. So if you have a Bluetooth powered or controlled Dolphin robot, if you have a Wi-Fi controlled one, if you have an infrared remote controlled one, anyone where there is data being exchanged between the robot itself and the power supply, if you have any problems, your first port of call is just to have a look at that connector. There's another video on YouTube of somebody taking it apart, but it's really, really easy. Those, what they call them, channel locks in the States, swan necks here, pliers, you hold one end with the pliers and just twist the other end with your hand and it comes off. 2 rubber O-rings. Very, very simple. I've tried it, I've cleaned it, it's working now, probably won't forever. But if you've got a problem and Maytronics just want you to send the parts back and you don't want to yet, start there. Have a look, clean it, dry it, see if that's your problem.